Uncovering my Warhammer collection after 20 years. A Hobbyist's Tale by Zach from Mini-Earth. Now, where to begin? Ah yes, the year was 1998, October 3rd to be specific, as it was my brother's birthday. That was the day I first found out about the world of Warhammer and Games Workshop. For his birthday that year, he received a Warhammer Quest game box, as well as the Warhammer 40,000 2nd edition paint set with the Space Marines. I remember being instantly drawn to them, and as the older brother, I was obligated to help myself to some figures and paints and began painting up a few. That was the start of a several year-long hobby, frequenting the local model shop in my hometown where I started out collecting Chaos Space Marines and other various figures. Now jumping ahead a few years to 2001, where I saw a movie trailer that would become a profound influence on my life.
Legend tells of a ring created by an ancient evil that gave its wearer the power to enslave the world. Believed lost for centuries, it has now been found.
Is it secret? Is it safe?
The Lord of the Rings, The Fellowship of the Ring, directed by Peter Jackson, would be coming out at the end of that year and to be the first of 3 films based on the books by J.R.R. Tolkien. Being a fan of the books, I was already hooked. Soon after, I saw an issue of White Dwarf magazine announcing that Games Workshop would be doing a range of the Lord of the Rings miniatures to go alongside the new movies, so I naturally would start picking up some models from this range as soon as they were available. Christmas that year was a good one. I got the big green starter box and the set of the Fellowship characters, and over the following years I would continue collecting and playing the game, collecting pieces through the Two Towers and Return of the King, as well as the complete Battle Games and Middle-earth magazine series. About 2005 though, I was into my late teens, and while I remained a huge Lord of the Rings fan, I'd packed away all of my miniatures in a box and just sort of stopped collecting them as my interests and priorities changed. I regrettably sold off most of my Warhammer Fantasy and 40k minis over the years, but I could never part with my ring stuff. Planning to one day take them out and finish painting them up. Well, 2023 is the year I intend to start doing that, so let's crack open that dusty old tub and see what's in there. Alright, as you can see, there's a whole bunch of stuff. Here's some little terrain pieces from the Warhammer Quest game I was talking about. Bunch of white dwarfs, the old rule manual lunchbox that's got some terrain bits in it. These are my Battle Games for Middle-earth magazine binders. Alright, so I got most of it out of the box here, so we've got quite the spread. Alright, so that lunchbox has just got a bunch of trees in it. Little hill I made from layered cardboard. Some of those Middle-earth ruins that came with the Return of the King box set. There's a little wall that I made with a White Dwarf tutorial. That was way back. Just laid cardboard and tiles made from more cardboard. Here's another terrain piece that I made. On top of it, it's just got a little rock wall that I made. They're real rocks, just glued to a bit of cardboard, nice and easy. Alright, there's just a little piece of scatter terrain I'd made. As you can see, it's just one of those little Middle-earth wall pieces, along with some lichen, a tree, some rocks. Here's my little tin with all my dice. What a great little magazine series this was. This is the little intro pamphlet that was just tucked in the first binder here. Nice Balrog poster. You know, it's got all these good little bits, how to play, how to paint, terrain tutorials. Here's the little Fellowship Moria base piece. As you collected the Fellowship with the magazine, you could add them to this. Nice little display piece. Here's a little magnifying piece that also came with it. The shoebox has got a bunch of terrain building supplies. See lots of different lichens and mosses. Pamphlet for the strategy battle game. Here's some partially built terrain pieces. You can see we've got the various sprues and package pieces that I never got around to painting, that I think these have all come from the Battle Games in Middle-earth magazine. A lot of these were duplicates of stuff I already had, so I think they just ended up in this shoebox. So we got some Mordor orcs here. Some Minas Tirith warriors. Some Rohan warriors. There's some Haradrim. Alright, here's some little blisters of various figures. That was a Sam, Gumburi Gum, we got the Goblin King. There's a little Balin, a Sharon. Conversion sprue piece. It's got some cool little heads and weapons on it. Prince Imrahil, Sharky, little dwarf captain. Here's the old White Dwarf collection. This one here, I think this was January 1999. And as you can see, there's a bunch of old school late 90s Games Workshop figures. Nice little trip down memory lane. Third edition 40k, there's the starter set there. A few showcasing the new Tyranids and the new Undead at the time. A bunch of other issues here. Introducing the Tau, and on the back, there it is. The Lord of the Rings. New game unveiled. I think I've got several of these. I think almost every single issue through till about 2004-05 when I stopped collecting. This is my bits box. This right here is the dwarf from the Warhammer quest box. I think this is one of, if not the first miniature I ever painted, and I've still got it. Here we go. The Mumak. Picked this up when it first came out. I think it turned out pretty alright, considering I painted it when I was 15 years old. It's needs a bit of TLC though. It's fallen apart a little bit over the years. Alright. Get into the miniatures. So we got a bunch of cavalry in the top of this one, some horses, some wargs. Let's pull them out. As you can see, there's going to be a trend here. A lot of this stuff was undercoated black and never painted. So you're going to find a lot of either unpainted or chaos black undercoated figures here. A bunch of horses and wargs. There's all the riders that go with them. Mixture of Rohan and Warg riders. I'd say Theodred. Alright, getting deeper in here, we've got a Shaku, Theoden from Warg Attack, got Eowyn, bits of Cave Troll through here, several Lothlorien archers, Gimli, that's Amon Hen, King of the Dead minus a sword, Orc Shaman, Gondor Minas Tirith Bannerbearer, Celadan the Serpent King, Gandalf, Saruman from the Orthanc set, Orc Bannerbearer, Mounted Aragorn. We got several metal goblins, Galadriel, Gorbag, Glorfindel, Eowyn at Helm's Deep, Faramir mounted in armor, Legolas from Helm's Deep, the OG Saruman, Celeborn, Elendil, the original Radagast. It's an Aemir on foot, Gamling, Easterling Captain, Arwen and Frodo riding Asphaloth, Boromir, Captain of the White Tower, I think he was called, Gollum, Smeagol, Shagrat, Eoher Merido, Tom Bombadillo. Alright, we got Bilbo Baggins here, one of my favorite sculpts. Gothmog, Eowyn, Hero of the West, Hammer, Armored Faramir on foot. Alright, so that's that first little container done. As you can see, we've got quite a few pieces to start off with. Now we're going to crack open the little, I say little, it's a large old VCR box. But inside, as you can see, we've got a ton of miniatures that are all piled on in there. So let's start digging through these and see what we've got. Got a Rider of Rohan here that I actually painted. Helm's Deep Heldir. The classic Heldir from Lothlorien. Frodo. Legolas. Gandalf the White. Got Gandalf the Grey here from the Battle at Khazad-dûm box, which came with the Balrog. There's another Galadriel. This is one that I actually painted. Got Aragorn here. Gil-galad. Pippin. Save that one for a minute. We got Gimli here. Aragorn. Faramir. Boromir. Aragorn from Helm's Deep. Théoden. There's Merry. Can't forget about Sam. That's the Weathertop version. Alright, and we've got 4 of the old metal Rangers of Ithilien here. You'll notice a lot of my Gondor figures are actually painted. They were the force I was planning to actually have a playable army of. There's Gwei here. We're going to put him over here with the rest of the Escape from Orthanc set figures. Got some of the Helm's Deep Haldir's elves, I think they were called. Galadrim elves. So we have the broken and beaten Balrog. I pulled him apart with the intent to fix. We have some elven spearmen here. The Rohan Royal Guard with banner. Got some Black Riders here. I have 3 from the box set. Metal Uruk-hai Berserkers and crossbows here. gone down to the next layer now. I've pulled out a bunch of the plastic goblins and soldiers from the other one. So you can see we've got the Metal Warg Riders. This is, I think, a captain I converted back in the day because he's got a custom sword and shield that I've given him. Aemir on a broken Firefoot. Firefoot has lost his foot. Gandalf the White on Shadowfax. And as you can see, there's a bunch of sticky foam on him because the foam in this box is deteriorated and is literally disintegrating when I touch it. So a lot of these figures down here have got a lot of gunk on them that are going to need cleaning. Here's Legolas and Gimli on horseback. His hand is missing because I was in the process, I think, of converting him. Next we have a mounted Aragorn or King Alessa. There's Firefoot's foot. And this here is a conversion I did on one of them that's got a spear, and I've painted him up like Elendil and Isildur. And I guess my intention was to make an Anarian. Legolas from the Heroes of the West set. Elrond. Also covered in foamy gunk. There is the Alessar on foot. Isildur. Pippin, Citadel Guard. There's Merry in Rohan armor. Both of those from the Heroes of the West set. Here's a bunch of Mordor orcs that I've painted. Some have conversions, as you can see there, just to add some variety. Digging deeper, there is Boromir with the Banner of Minas Tirith. Rohan Warrior. Guards of the Fountain Court. And here's Denethor, the steward himself. There's an orc captain figure. Got some Uruk-hai warriors here with obviously, naturally broken pikes. Some more orcs. Here's the Witch King with a broken flail. Grishnak, which I think the paint job holds up on this one alright. Some of these figures aren't too bad considering how long ago I painted them. A few more Mordor orcs up there. Alright, moving on to the Isengard stuff. So pull apart more disintegrating foam. We got Saruman here from the Two Towers. Naturally, next to him is Grima Wormtongue. Uruk-hai Captain. Let's... Got a painted up Uruk-hai Berserker here, and there was an Ugluk down there as well. Peeling down to the bottom layer, we have all the Minas Tirith soldiers, and there's some Rohan guys on the left there as well. But now it's time for me to stop talking and show off. won't be getting anywhere fast without a hobby station. So I'm going to set myself up a nice little space with a old cutting mat that I had. And of course I'll need some paint, so fortunately, I've got my old paint box here, still got some old paints in it. I picked up a few new ones, a bunch of old brushes, got some new brushes too. I've still got my old case full of files and clippers and knives, etc. So once I have my little painting station set up, all we've got left to do is start painting. So that brings us to the end of the channel's first episode. I hope to post regular videos as I re-embark on this hobby journey where I'll be painting and converting models, making terrain, building dioramas, plus so much more. So I hope to see you all back here again real soon.